Hey guys, Dale Walker at Hole Shot in my retirement shop. Gonna work more on Mr. Gray, the ZH2 today, the flying brick. And yeah, got it back on the workbench. I already went over the paravalve block off. Anyway, today I'm gonna go ahead and cut the chain, the stock chain that's brand new. Luckily they have a nice marked master link with copper ends. So I'm almost positive you can buy a new one from Kawasaki also, if you look on the microfiche, which is nice. So we're going to cut the chain, and then I was going to go ahead with the swing arm extensions, but I want spools on the swing arm extensions, so I'm going to probably drill and tap those in the drill press first. I've got measurements from the stock ones. It should work. I found a spot on the new ones that has some meat without running into anything on the other side or holes. So maybe we'll do that first, but right now, next I'm going to go ahead and cut the chain, and I'm going to show you how I like to do it and what tools I use and so on. Okay, so yeah, let me get started over here and I'll be back like this. Okay, first, before I start grinding away, let me show you my grinder. I have a lot of different grinders, air, electric, whatever. But I decided, since I'm going to work on the cam snapper cylinder head, I wanted to buy a new one. I've always used the air tools. So now I have a combination of air tools with front blow exhaust, and then this one here I'm going to use to do most of the porting. So I'm going to use this one to cut the chain. I highly recommend you buy one of these. They have them at Home Depot. They're not that expensive, like 120 bucks. Kita. Okay. And it's 1/4 inch arbor. I'm going to be using, this one's a little worn out. I start with the 3 inch. This is probably worn down to about 2.5 inches, which is kind of perfect. 1/8 inch wide grinding disc, okay? With the mandrel that fits a 1/4 inch. Okay, the part number for this grinder is right there. Can you see that? There you go. GD0603. Highly recommend getting one of these. That's what we're going to be using here. Okay. And then, of course, a good face mask for protection. And I've had this for years and years, this chain breaker. It's made in England. It's real heavy duty. This is the kind you want. The little button sticking out the end. But you want a good one, not some cheap piece of junk, okay? My riveting tool is a whole different heavy-duty factory Honda tool from back in the day, but we're not doing that right now. We're just going to cut the chain. So, okay, let me get started. I'm going to keep me out of the picture so you have a close-up of what we're doing here. But first I want to say that sorry if I don't sound like my normal self. Many of you do, some of you don't know that I've been fighting cancer for, 5-6 years now. Stage 4 prostate. And anyway, I just finished 3 months of chemo, and it's coming out of me for about a year, and I'm on these other drugs, and now I gained like 8 pounds. My legs and ankles are swelled up. I'm just fighting the battle and trying to work on this stuff that makes me happy, but I don't feel very good. So if I flub up some words or get out of sync with what I'm working on, that's pretty much why. So anyway, I appreciate the support. So I just wanted to give you that little tidbit on me and how I still feel. Got a lot of wind outside, so here we go. Okay, so it's always nice to have a support of some sort. So I'm going to put some fingers right here a little bit, kind of to support it. I got the grinder kind of against my tummy so I can support it so it doesn't go like this. I put 4 layers of tape on here just in case I slip, which I shouldn't. Just main thing is to go easy, go back and forth, real consistent. You're going to want to take the tip of the pin off clear into the link, and you want to grind a little bit into the link as well on each one, but you want it comfortable, you know. Got to be comfortable. If you're not comfortable, you're going to do a crappy job and you're going to slip. So here we go. Thing I forgot, I'm going to put a rag here. Not that it's going to hurt anything, but just to keep all the crap from flying around in the swing arm and the spacer and so on. So we're a long way away. We're not going to grab that rag, so I always do that. Another thing is the grinder, you always want to keep it flat and straight, perpendicular, so you're not at an angle, okay? So you're not digging a hole in it. You're just floating over the top and you keep... Guard dog. Coop. That's my crew chief. Cooper! No! Get back over and lay down. It's enough. You guys making a movie unless you want to be a movie star. Alright, so let me zoom in on that a little more. You can see it there. So if you see right here, I went flush and then I went beyond flush of the pin. It's down in there pretty good. So that makes it about 10 times easier to break these heavy duty chains. Just using a good chain breaker and not doing this first, it's this is the way to do it, trust me. So, okay, we'll roll it around. Let me change the camera angle, see if I can get a shot when I break the chain apart. Okay guys, you want a couple good quality punches. Just pick one that matches the pins. I just got a couple here. I know one of these, probably the smaller one right here, is going to be the one. I don't know if you can see that or not. And a small hammer. Little ball peen hammer. Something with a little weight to it, but not real big so you can control it. Okay, let me zoom in. Trying to do this all by myself. Can barely see. That should be good enough if I don't get in the way. Okay? All right. I think you can see this. Here's the tool I was talking about. Good quality chain breaker. You notice me, no gloves. And just make sure you got it on the pin. What was the pin? I don't want to scratch anything. You can kind of go back and forth between the links because you don't want to mess up the other part of the chain, get carried away, because this chain is brand new and I'm 99% that you can buy a factory Kawasaki link. I'll put this in a box, and if this bike ever comes back apart and I want to sell it, that's where the way I'm building this motorcycle. It's totally reversible, except I'll leave the flash in it on the tune. But, that way this stock chain can go right back on, fit perfect. Hope you can hear me. A lot of wind noise today. We got just a windy day here. That's northern Nevada. You never know how it's going to go one second to the next. I'm about 30 minutes from the Sierra foothills of the mountains, and it blows through here. So, we got that pretty good. Okay. So now, can you see those? Yeah, they're inset pretty well. I may have to back this up with something. We'll find out here in a second. So yeah, my slightly bigger one, punch, is the one that's going to work. But I may have to back that up still. Nope. There we go. Just like butter. Okay. The stock chain is perfect. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and thread this chain back just a little bit. I'm going to keep it on the countershaft sprocket. All right. And I just took it off the rear sprocket. We're just going to lay it right here through all our work in the back. Let me adjust the camera again. Okay, hang on. Okay guys, there you go. So it's off the sprocket, it's laying on the bench. We're going to leave it like that. Let me get over here just a little bit. I'm not going to worry if I'm not in there. But we're going to leave it just like this, and then you don't really have to take off any of this unless the other link doesn't fit. So eventually when I get the wheel all on here with the extensions and so on, I have a EK 525 150 link, 10,400 tensile strength. It's chain O-ring that's going on this thing. I'm going to leave the stock gearing on it at first, okay, because why not? On the dyno, when I ran it, 5th gear, when it taps the rev limiter, it's going 164 in 5th, okay? So I don't think I'm going to make it there. So, you know, it's just what is what it is. We might as well start with that. Like I say, this thing may be a lot harder to ride than the bigger bike still, with a lot more torque. That's more rideable, really, docile, and you can go right through the bottom. We'll find out. But anyway, for now, that's what I'm doing. And then what I can do is I can roll the stock chain, maybe with the link I just cut. Matter of fact, I think I just threw it in the garbage can. I better find it. And or the one that comes with the chain, I'll roll it through without a clip or outer clip on it, plate, and then we kind of get it back where we want it and dink with that with how we're going to cut the chain. But that's far from now. So okay, what we're going to do now is I'm going to end this portion of it, and then probably the rest of this video is going to be drilling and tapping for the spools. See if I can make those work. So I'm going to get some blocks, put it under the wheel, get it off the stand, get my swing arm spools unbolted. I know a spot that I can put them on the other extensions, and we'll dink with that. So I'm not going to show every part of it. Maybe I'll show one side and then I'll just work on the other side without filming it and everything. So, okay, I'll be back. Okay guys, well, I got the bike off the stand, as you can see. I pulled off one spool. I'm going to go ahead and come over here now. I'm going to show you what I have in mind. So this is what they look like on the back. This is the side, and this is the brake stay for the caliper slide. But here, these bolts, obviously they made this universal. They can swing it either way. So got to stay away from these threaded holes. So yeah, what we're going to do this spool I have is a 2-piece. This is the base. Got a little shoulder to keep it away a little bit, which is good. So I've decided to come to this radius right here. Give it a little daylight, maybe an 1/8 inch, and then just beyond this down just a hair. Way away from the meaty part in here where those holes could start. I think the holes are back here further, but I want the spool below the extension a little bit. So that's about where we're going to do it. Going to use a transfer punch and center punch that, and then get it over to my drill press and try to clamp this thing down somehow without ruining it or scratching it very much. So that's the next thing. So let me do that, and then I'll get it over to the drill press. 8 by 125 thread pitch. And I believe, yeah, the tapping hole needs to be 17/64. So hopefully I got a brand new 17/64. Find out that in a minute. Okay, I'll be back. Let me get set up. B, to make sure the tap bottom's all the way. Okay? All right, well, let me get set up. That's all for this. Let me go over to the drill press. I'll get set up and we'll drill the first hole. Okay. So I'm going to go right on the table. I've had this drill press since the 80s. At least this one's made in Taiwan. A lot heavier duty than the ones now. Anyway, I'm going right on the table. The chuck is directly over this hole in the center of the table. And I got a 1/2 inch piece of Delrin, which worked out nice with the C-clamp on this side on my center punch. And this side is just lightly snugged with a little clamp. It's not going to have that much pressure on it. But anyway, what I like to do is go down to your center point. None of these bits, the cheap bits, are real perfectly straight. But I like to just center punch it a bit more, right? That way it gives a guide for the drill bit. And I'm going to use, like I said, 11/64. Then we're going to go straight to the, I think it's 17/64, so I'll double check myself for an 8mm tap. Okay, and I left this a little shy, so I'm going to go maybe an 1/8 inch past the tape here. So let's do that right now. I got my Liza taping now. Got my handy dandy little vacuum cleaner set up, works pretty slick. Go a little at a time and clean it out. See how I'm pulling it out of the hole? Cleans it off the drill bit and gets it out of the hole. See how slick that works? Doesn't make a giant mess. Hi, honey.
Hello.
So anyway, yeah, so that's plenty deep. Should be plenty deep. Hang on a second. Yeah, I don't think that's not going to let me do it. All I can do is eyeball, which is not very good. So yeah, let me get this out of the way here. Yeah, I can see that we're deeper. I can't get it straight. Everything's in the way. I don't want to take it loose from the fixture, So we'll go that deep. I'll lower the table, I'll change the bit, and then I'll get it all lined up, and then we'll go this depth again with the proper drill bit for the tap. Okay, I just double checked myself, and we're passing right on the tape, so that's about a 1/4 inch deeper than they need to go, but shouldn't be popping through. It's not going to hurt anything if it pops through, I just don't need to. So anyway, we did good on that. So now I know I can use this. I'm going to have to put the tape on the bigger one though now. So double check myself. 8x125, that's what the bolts are on the spools. Takes a 17/64 drill bit for your tap. There's a brand spanking new one. So let me get my yellow tape. We're just eyeballing this. Okay. It's close enough because I made it longer than it needs to be. Don't really like doing this over here. Okay, that's it. That should not pop through. We'll see. Pretty good. So the table now, I don't have to worry about that because we're not going through. Always keep the drill bit, the chuck on the smooth part of the drill bit if you can. Don't go down on the cutting flutes. That's a pretty good looking drill bit. Okay, now we come up here. See, this will rotate around. So go like that. I hold the drill bit down against it, and I'll lock the table down. Can you hear me? Hopefully. Give it a little clearance. It's looking good. Let me get the drill bit back out of there when I'm done. Okay. Again, I like to come down, give it a couple turns, just very lightly. Okay. Chips at the bottom. That's why I want to go in a little deeper. Not a bottoming tap, it's got a point on it. just going to kiss the tape. Okay, now, before I take this out of the clamps, I should be able to swing this out enough, one way or the other. And like I say, though we don't have a number, we got our depth gauge, right? So, yeah, it's not bottom, so we got room. Should have room. Okay. So now, I'm going to blow that out, and we'll see. I may use the chuck and go really easy, and use the chuck to tap it. Okay, let's just take a look at our hole location, just eyeball it. It looks nice. I got a little daylight over here. It's just barely beyond the bottom here. That's what I wanted. Okay, so that's all good. I just blew the hole out. So I'm just going to do it by hand, at least part of the way or probably all the way. Once I go down so far, I could use a drill and go real slow and go in and out, but we'll see. I always like to use real stuff. Thread cutting oil or thread cutting paste. It's aluminum, it's not steel, so it's a lot easier, but you want to try to get this thing started straight as you can. The hole will be a guide once it gets in there, but that's why using a mill or something is good. But when you don't have a mill, you got to do what you got to do. So do about a turn and a half, back it out, half turn. And double check yourself, even though you can't do much with it now, but it looks nice and pretty parallel. Okay, once you get down so far, you could also use a T-handle or something. I want to keep it in here to hold it for me so I don't destroy it. I don't want to put this thing in a vise or anything. Okay, so yeah. Yeah, I will, after I go down about another 1/4 inch probably, maybe even less, I'll take it out, I'll blow it out again and clean it, start over. Just do this right here. That's probably good enough. Give it a little more super juice. Probably before you get to the bottom, you take it out, clean it, blow it out, so the tap will bottom all the way. You don't want to bind it up, you don't want to strip your threads, they're brand new and it's aluminum. It's a tedious process. Okay, let me get this done. There's no reason for you to watch me just. This is going to take me about 10 minutes or more doing it right. So let me get this done or almost done, and I'll get back and show you. Okay? All right, guys. Finally got this one side done. Because this is not a full bottoming tap, I lost about that much. So it was a bugger. I had to get down, keep tapping, taking it out, clean it, tapping. And I want to break the tap off. So the bolts are super long, so I cut 5 millimeters off the bolt, and I did it. So tomorrow on the other side, I think I'll just go a little further. It still won't break through. And then I'll go ahead and take the same 5 millimeters off the bolt. The bolt head is a special bolt, a regular 8 millimeter Allen that I have. The head's bigger and won't fit in this spool, and I want to use these spools because I like them. So anyway, if you zoom in here, it turned out pretty clean. It's in the spot I wanted. And so tomorrow I'll do the other spool, and then yeah, in the next video it'll be part 6. I think this is part 5 of this bike. I'll go ahead and pull the wheel off and start the assembly. And I may use my dry caliper that I have. If you haven't seen, I have another caliper, so I can kind of assemble that and get that on there, then pull the rest of the bike off without the rear brake line dripping. So I'm going to end this video now, just this stuff we did today. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give me a thumbs up, say hi, comment below, maybe subscribe, that always helps. I just got a little channel. So till then, thank you. I appreciate your prayers and all that good stuff. Love you guys. See you next time.